folks, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Natasha and I do book things here. Today's video is another installment after a many month hiatus of Stephen King Sunday. And today, you'll see by the title, I DNF'd a Stephen King book, and I DNF'd Rage, which was the fourth book that I was supposed to read. Third book? Fourth book? Hold on. Yes, the fourth book in the master list I have of Stephen King that I'm reading in order. Yeah, I started reading Rage back in February and things were going good. I'll show you guys in a second. I was very into taking notes on this book and I had a lot of things to talk about. However, when I was reading it, the Florida shooting happened and I could not touch this book any longer, and I put it down and I haven't picked it up since. And I thought for many months that I was going to pick it up again and continue this Stephen King Sunday series in order, and it just is not going to work out that way. I've realized that for me, I don't need to continue to read this book to move on with this series. Since reading Rage, I have read The Stand, Night Shift, The Long Walk, The Dead Zone, Firestarter, Roadwork, and Cujo. So I am, what, 7 books past Rage at this point, and I have many things I want to talk about all of those books, and so I do hope you guys can sort of hear me out and forgive me for DNFing this and maybe understand the reasons why I did that. I think it's okay to admit to yourself when a book is not right for you, and it might not be right for you for some time. So for those of you who aren't aware, Rage is a work by Stephen King, although he wrote it under the pseudonym Richard Bachman. It was first published in 1977 and then came in the bind-up with the Bachman books, which is what I have here, I believe in 1985. So it's hard to get a copy of Rage because, like I said, it is out of print. The reason for that is that the novel describes a school shooting. Kid has a lot of feelings for various reasons, goes into his classroom, kills his teacher. It's something that I think in 2018 we're all too familiar with and we see it too often. And yeah, at the time that the book was released, several years later, it was actually in part tied into several school shootings where the kids either had it in their locker or it was something that, you know, was influenced school shootings. And so Stephen King sort of made the decision to pull it and not have it be published anymore. So it is a bit of a tricky one to get your hands on if you do want to read it, if you're interested in reading it. You know, it does exist. There is Amazon and stuff. You can find it in the Bachman books if you want to be a completionist and read all of Stephen King like I intended to do. So I knew very well going into it what this book was about. I, you know, was very curious as to why it was pulled and that kind of thing. Having read 68% of it, that's where I stopped on Goodreads. I don't need to read the rest of it. Just a little bit of the things that it's the first story in this book, I believe, and I'm not joking when I said that I wrote a lot of things and highlighted a lot of things and had a lot of feelings about this book. Wrote like full paragraphs after. It's just something that I wrote in here if you guys are curious. This is another chapter in there, and it says, "This whole chapter speaks to my realization that when I was 14, I also thought that I was smarter than all the adults in positions of authority. I too saw right through their bullshit. I called them on it, but nowhere near this level. This is all relatable to any kid who has ever been referred to as a disturbed." So, you know, even my notes on this, I felt a relation to the character as a kid who was quote-unquote a bad kid and a disturbed kid. And I think that sort of made me realize why this book was pulled, that even as an adult I can see a relation in the main character as to why he's choosing to do the things he did, and that's dangerous. That's dangerous as a 29-year-old adult to be able to relate to this character, and I can only imagine how dangerous it is for a 14-year-old, 15-year-old kid in high school to read this book and relate to that character as well. That's why I'm okay not finishing this book. It gave me, you know, a lot of emotions, and just, it does make you feel for the main character. It makes you put yourself in that mindset of, this character is doing these things because of these things, and that is okay. And it's not okay. You know, reading this and then immediately waking up the next day and seeing another school shooting where, you know, 17 people died, I just put this book down and I went, I can't read this anymore because it's too much. But yeah, I just felt too uncomfortable to continue reading it, and yeah, I think having read 68%, 70% of it, I know enough about it now to know why it was pulled. I know why teenagers related to it, and I know why, you know, Stephen King, I don't know if he was the person who made that decision, but I understand and respect him as an author to pull that work. And I think that I respect that it is no longer published. And I don't want to say by me not finishing it that, like, no, but like, you know, I obviously read it with the intention of like, hey, I want to see what's up with this. My curiosity got the better of me. And to be honest, it's not something that needs to be out there. And I mean, that's a conversation that you can have too. At what point is a book not a thing that we need? You know, what sort of makes a book a banned book? What books are not needed, I guess. Which could be a whole other video and a whole other topic. But for me, it's not needed for me, and so I DNF'd Rage. And I would love to hear anyone's opinions down below, if you've read it, if you finished it, if it's, again, something I need to pick back up and finish it. I think I got the gist of it. 70%, I don't really care. Like, I might just skim the ending and go, oh, okay, this is what happened, fine. But I don't need to immerse myself back in that mindset. I get it. I understand why it was pulled, and that's that. I think that was my main goal of my own curiosity, was knowing why. You know, and I get it. And judging by, you know, a few sentences of my notes, I definitely get it. I totally get it. And yeah. Yeah, this video is kind of crap. I realize that, but it was more of a getting out word vomit than most things. I will definitely come back and do more Stephen King Sundays where I move down his list again. I think the next one is going to be a little bit more lighthearted. I'm going to do a haul. I have a Stephen King haul of a couple of his vintage paperback works that I managed to find, that I'll need your help sort of figuring out something for me, but I'm going to go ahead and film that as well. Yeah, I know this is a weird video, but I could not bring myself to finish this book, and I have my various reasons why. Again, let me know in the comments down below if you've read this, what feelings you have, if it's something that you are going to actively seek out to try to read, why or why not. If you've read it, do you respect the decision of it being pulled? Whatever. Let's open up a discussion in the comments. That would be really interesting. And yeah, I do hope you guys enjoy this video. Kind of a weird video to enjoy, but I do hope you guys sort of, I don't know, like my opinion about it, I guess. Yeah, I hope everyone is doing good and stays safe, and until my next video, I'll talk to all of you soon. Bye.